We are back. We are back. We are back for our sixth season of The Scare Guy. Coming to you straight from the dark and sinister heart of Hollywood, California. Welcome, guys. We are so excited to be back. This is our very first show of the sixth season of The Scare Guy. And I'm just excited to be back. How you doing?
It's hard to believe. It feels like we did one this year, but maybe not.
I think we did one earlier in the year. We did a movie interview, but this is really how we are kicking off. We are heading into the summer. Right at the beginning of the summer is kind of where the Scare Guy starts its season because we head into the Halloween season, all the horror movies, all the haunt events, all the horror conventions are coming up. And for those of you who watch us on a regular basis, all two of you, no, I'm just kidding. We got some good folks out there. You know that we are the scarier side of the con guy, theconguy.com. Whereas the con guy .com and the podcast there, it covers everything in the Comic-Con universe. The Scare Guy, over here, we kind of get a little bit spookier, where we as fans and filmmakers cover horror conventions, scary movies, haunted attractions, and everything that is scary fun. My name is Jim Fry. I'm one of your horror hosts for tonight, and I'm joined by my equally deranged and sinister partner in crime,
Cheeseman, screenwriter and one of the founding Scare Guys.
I know, and Cheeseman and I, we are in the middle of trying to get a horror movie ready to go to kind of do some pre-production and whatnot. Luke, I just want us to take just a moment. Let's thank everybody, everyone who watches, everybody who downloads and everything for allowing us to do this for the past 5 years. We've got some great plans for year number 6, but we just want to say 5 years, like 5 years ago when we started the Scare Guy, we just, we didn't know where it was going to go. We just wanted to do it to have fun. And we kind of still do it. We're just fans. We happen to be filmmakers, as Luke said, but we are fans of all this stuff. So just want to say a little bit here at the beginning, because we are going to jump into some really cool stuff here in just a second. But this next year, you'll be seeing a little bit more of we have some cool new horror movies, some new hosts that are going to be joining us here on a regular basis, including horror movie and film producer Natalie Miscali. I always say her name wrong. How do you say her last name, Luke? I've known her for like 10 years. Miscali.
Yeah, I think it's more of that. Yeah. Because I was saying Miscali and I was wrong too.
Now, let's just say she is the perfect for this show. She has a little stuffed Terrifier clown doll that she sleeps with at night, and that's just demented enough for us. Anyways, so Natalie's going to be joining us on a regular basis. Also, actress and filmmaker Angela Relucio, who is herself a big horror fan, and so she'll be joining us. Mega fan and professional collector Jake Geraldine, of course, plus our own Scream Queen, Katie Kawamoto. She'll be back with us. Some Carrie Lane, once we head into the horror season. Carrie is always good. And then, of course, good old buddy Ben. We'll make sure to keep everybody updated on all the events, the haunts, the movies, everything scary. This week, we have something cool to talk about. But just so you know, we will be talking about in the coming weeks, Midsummer Scream, July 28th through 30th. Horror Hound Weekend coming up in Cincinnati and Indianapolis in August. HorrorCon Los Angeles, right here in the middle of the horror community here in Los Angeles, September 30th, and then Spooky Empire in Orlando, Florida. We're also going to cover all the big horror movies coming up this fall: Insidious, The Haunted Mansion, which I'm kind of looking forward to, The Nun Part 2, David Gordon Green's sequel to The Exorcist. I'm not so sure if I'm super excited about that. Wasn't the biggest fan of Halloween.
That comes out this year?
Yeah, it comes out. Let me see.
I didn't know they were that far into it.
October 13th. It's a sequel to The Exorcist.
So who's in it?
They have the mom who is back. I don't know. We're going to get more information as we get closer to it. I don't think Linda Blair returned, but
It's interesting we're that close, and I just feel like I haven't really heard anything about it.
I know. Isn't that great? The thing is, I think the big horror movies of the fall, we're going to start getting a lot of their promotions starting right in midsummer, right after Comic-Con. Comic-Con's kind of like sucking all the air out of the room right now. Also, there's Saw 10 is coming back Halloween weekend, so Saw is back, which is kind of cool. And of course, we're going to be covering all the biggest haunts like Halloween Horror Nights, Not Scary Farm, Queen Mary. I mean, all the stuff on both coasts. We'll cover them all. But this week, it's all about Monsterpalooza. But before we do, Luke, we're going to jump into Monsterpalooza. Do you have anything to say about, like, the coming season and stuff? What we're looking forward to?
About just Halloween in general, or about before Monsterpalooza, right?
Before Monsterpalooza. Like, why are we excited to be back, man?
Well, we're going to find out more about Halloween Horror Nights and a lot of things we go to, especially you were mentioning the movie season and all that. So, we'll see so that I don't know too much about the Haunted Mansion, but that might be cool as well. So
we'll see. We'll see. But anyways, I kind of put Luke on the spot there. Luke's been kind of like really hustling to get together the Monsterpalooza stuff for tonight. We have some, and we're done talking. We got two talking heads here. That is not what we're trying to like shift our podcast approach a little bit. And we just want to go a little bit more inside some of the events we're talking about. So tonight, most of our video, most of our stuff is going to come from on the ground inside a little show here in Hollywood we call Monsterpalooza. We are kicking off our season with a deep dive into Monsterpalooza 2023, which just wrapped up here in Los Angeles, down in Pasadena. Monsterpalooza celebrates the art of monsters and movie magic with over 450 vendors. They had the Monster Museum, which is super cool, celebrity guests, presentations, and tons more. It kind of makes sense, Cheeseman. This is where like horror movie industry lives. I mean, they film all over the place, but this is where the industry, Monsterpalooza, is like cool because it's a place where people who have been working in the monster movie industry for, I don't know, since the 1920s come together. I mean, they're mostly dead, but we got a cool panel preview that you're going to review that you're going to show us about something about. But, sometimes it's kind of crazy. I sometimes take it for granted that we are smack dab in the middle of the horror movie industry right here in the middle of Hollywood, California. And by extension, we're in the middle of the haunt and the horror event industry. We're in the eye of the hurricane, so to speak. And, it's kind of cool to be reminded of that every once in a while. Monsterpalooza, I think, did just that. So, Luke, I know you have a little bit to say and you have some photos to take us through. So take us through a little bit of Monsterpalooza and what it was like.
Yeah, just overall, it's good to be back. They had great guests there, and the floor really expanded beyond what I was even used to. They really kind of bumped that out and had a really gigantic floor area, which was cool. And also the food and drink kind of stuff was a lot easier to kind of access. They did have, you could buy beers or cocktails and get them in the outside hallway or inside the hallway. And that, even when the line was longer, it moved pretty fast. So but everything was kind of like close together and everything. There was a separate kind of, you had to go across the way to see some of these panels at the main stage. But I just feel like the organization of the space was done very well, and a lot of good vendors were there this year. So just to kind of get into it. So Rubber Larry did something for Icons of Darkness. It's right here. This is a Wednesday figure that was very lifelike. My nephew actually has kind of a crush on her, so I kind of got to pretend like I met her.
That looks so lifelike. I love that.
Yeah. And as a Tiki fan and all that, More Monsters did a lot of custom made Tiki mugs that looked really cool. So I'm showing these monster Tiki mugs that were made there. And maybe this is somebody we could talk to with our Tiki Freaks show that we'll be doing this season as well, which is a podcast we do on all things Tiki bars, Tiki restaurants, all that.
Hey, Luke, real quick, just a little self-promotion. Like the thing that's kind of cool that a lot of people of the horror community probably are seeing, and people in the Tiki community are seeing, there is kind of like an intersection. They're kind of like hitting each other. And Tiki, and they call it the dark Tiki, and Halloween and horror stuff is kind of mixing together and giving us some really cool imagery coming out of there. Wouldn't you say?
All right. Yep. And of course, here's me and Jim on the outside with the banner. Got to get one of those on your way in. And then I was talking about the celebrity guests. So
Dermot Mulroney. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he was there, especially with being part of the new Scream, and he's been in a lot of movies there in the past, but he was there, seemed like a nice guy, had a pretty good crowd around him. Tom Savini,
yep,
makeup and special effects icon, you know, that inspired Greg Nicotero and all these big like movie effects and stuff. He was there doing some signings and pictures there on the floor area. And Kane Hodder, the most famous Jason, he was there in the hallway, looked real friendly, had a good line around him, which was nice.
I love Kane Hodder. Yeah.
And they had a mix of, you know, like the hallway type stuff. And then also in the floor area, they had people doing signing. And then Skeet Ulrich, he definitely had the biggest line out of anybody. I mean, I don't think there was ever not a line for Skeet's stuff. So
if you're looking at this photo right now, he's up in the upper right-hand corner over to the far side to the right.
Yep, wearing the trucker hat if you're looking at the video. But he was, you know, featured in the newer Screams, like with his daughter hallucinating and all that and seeing him. So he got to kind of act and be part of that, which was cool. So Skeet is back part of the Scream universe. And then what's a convention without?
Pat Jankowicz. I love that guy.
So he actually was there doing some interview type stuff. He does a lot of writing, and it was cool seeing him do like bring out old cassette tape to record it. So he kind of keeps things old school. I'm sure he's had that thing for like 20 plus years.
He's got an old cassette recorder on the table in front of him as he's doing interviews right now for, I'm sure, some cool, exciting project that he's working on. But that is awesome.
And then there was another fellow podcaster, the Monster Party podcast. We hope to maybe be able to collaborate with them. They were doing some live podcasting right there at the event, which is maybe something we may consider doing in the future as well.
Yep.
And then there's, of course, Jim with the most realistic baby head on a grown man, crazy, creepy looking thing that you've ever seen.
I can tell you that it's Hyperflesh. You can see I guess was the brand name of these masks. This looks like some kind of filter or special effect. This crazy screaming baby head right next to me. I told Luke I was kind of not even able to look
actually at it. Like a good punk rock band name. Screaming Baby Head. Is that what you said?
Screaming Baby Head, yeah. Yeah. But I can tell you this thing was freaky. I could not look at this mask because it was like a giant baby head screaming in my face. And then I looked like a giant baby head anyway.
Yeah, it was like looking in the mirror. And then there was a great looking ET there that, you know, had the glowing heart and glowing finger, but a really good like life-size replica that was there. So, and you'll see that in our video portion as well. We'll be showing that. And then there was just great kind of sculpts of just models of different things that were in the floor area, and even like live models just being kind of the special effects makeup getting put on. So
yeah, we're looking at like werewolves and Krampus and whatever that is the thing to the left. But that thing to the left, didn't he move? I don't know.
I think so. I think maybe one of them at the end moved and stuff, which was kind of a crazy thing. If you're not paying attention, you're just kind of going down the line videoing, and all of a sudden one moves.
Oh yeah,
you'll have a little jump. But there's a panel we'll talk about a little later that I took some pictures of, that maybe when we lead into that, we'll show those photos.
Yeah, Monsterpalooza, I'm going to show a really short clip here, and I think we can, and I'm going to add this to the stream. Let me see if I can show it. I think we can talk over it, right? Can they hear us? And oh, it's not moving.
Oh boy.
And let's see if we can make this thing move. Go. Well, you know, it was moving just a second ago. I'm hoping this is not portentous of things to come. Maybe it just needs a load back. Anyways, the thing that's cool about Monsterpalooza is it centers on like the big chunk of it that everybody comes for is like the kick-ass makeup effects that you get to see. So we're seeing a guy sitting in a chair, and he was there probably for like 5 hours as he was made up into this crazy monster thing that I wish it was showing. I don't know why it's not showing, Cheeseman. We just kind of practiced it just a second ago. Whoops. It went away.
Oh, did that get rid of it completely?
Let me try it again.
Oops.
Yeah, that was not going to work, I guess. Look at that. I apologize for that. We just tested it earlier and it didn't work. I hope all the rest of our videos are going to work. We'll try this one again a little bit later. I don't know why that one's not working. Let me remove that one. So I know what I can do. Let me try. I'm going to try this right here. Makeup. Oh, I wonder if this is what. And here we go. Now we can see it. Luke, can you hear me?
Yeah. And they're doing a protruding spine right now, but they're doing a lot of the airbrushing, kind of blend in with the skin.
Yeah, this was so cool. Look how it blends right into the upper part of his neck, into his chest, and later on, this guy was kind of walking around. It was kind of cool. It's really cool the way they kind of let you kind of like get up close and personal and see everything that's happening. So I really sorry about the other one. The other one wasn't working, but we found a way to make it work. No, so Monsterpalooza, it's really heavy on the monster makeup. This is whereas Midsummer Scream a little bit later is really heavy on the haunts, the haunted attractions, the haunted things, how to make your home haunts. This one's about the industry of making horror movies, and that's why this one's so really cool. So that's what I really appreciated, that part of this.
Yeah, just to let the viewers know, we attended on Sunday. It was a 3-day event. There was some good panels on Friday and Saturday as well. But so it's good to buy ahead of time. You can get a weekend pass, or you can get, specific day passes, and it's definitely cheaper if you buy in advance and everything. We kind of waited till day of, so we paid the full price and stuff going in. But if you're looking to kind of save
we weren't
money and
special guests.
yeah, we weren't special guests to this one, so I would strongly advise to buy in advance and look for the Eventbrite deals, and all that is usually where this one specifically sells on.
And this is Monsterpalooza. They also have a second half. It's part 1. Part 2 of this convention is Son of Monsterpalooza, which happens in Burbank. So this one was in Pasadena, and the second part of it, it's not the second part. There's another sister convention called Son of Monsterpalooza, which happens in October in Burbank. So if you didn't get a chance to get to this one, you'll get some good stuff in Burbank in October. All right, Cheeseman, what else you got?
So yeah, again, I mean, we will be showing kind of more of the floor area, which was great, but we did catch one panel which was really cool. So this was the It's Alive panel with Julian Stone, who just recently did a book talking about like the person that brought in the Universal monsters to. So Carl, how do you say his last name?
Oh, it's Carl Laemmle Jr. Yeah, Laemmle.
Yeah,
There's a franchise of Laemmle theaters here in the LA area. I don't know how broad it is, but the Laemmle started Universal Studios, and Carl Laemmle Jr. is the son of the senior Laemmle, and he's, like Luke was saying, he's the guy who brought in the Universal monsters. He's the brainchild behind it all.
And what was crazy is he was so young when he did it. Like he was in
23.
his late 20s, 23, which was just crazy to do something that really just changed the studio and kind of has kept to present day. You still see Frankenstein walking around Universal Studios, and so just the whole brand of the Universal monsters, which they talked about on the panel and kind of went through things chronologically. And
so Luke's showing a slide right now. In 1932, he brought The Mummy starring Boris Karloff. And then in 1933 was The Invisible Man. And then 1935, The Bride of Frankenstein, also starring Boris Karloff as Frankenstein's monster.
Which, these were three of the biggest ones. But some of the ones he was kind of really talking about that he got going was Dracula and Frankenstein, which we actually have a clip of him talking kind of more in depth in that. So should we show that now?
Yeah, so what we're going to do, guys, is instead of me and Luke being talking heads right now, we're going to take you guys a little bit inside the convention, show you some of the cool stuff from this panel, and then Luke's going to take you on a tour of the convention floor with some of the vendors. Yep, and I'm wearing a Dracula shirt because I knew we were going to be talking about this tonight. All right, take us through it, Luke. Oh, wait. I've got it. 1, 2, and go. Are we doing this again? I think all of these for some reason have locked up. So I'm going to do what I did the last one. Give me just 1 second. Give me 1 second. So Luke's going to take us inside the Dracula and Frankenstein portion of this panel.
Before landing on the Hungarian actor Bela Lugosi. Yes. Now, Lugosi was obviously thrilled to get the role. He had starred on Broadway in it, and it had made him a bit of a name, but he would grouse years later that he was finally given the role after every actor in town was auditioned and their pets. So, it's the way Hollywood works. It seems to us inconceivable anybody else could have been Dracula, but that's the way it was. The film shoots primarily in October of 1930. These are some pictures from the shoot. You can see Todd Browning on the left looking up at Lugosi, and that's another shot of Lugosi on the right, relaxing next to a fan. I love that photo. The shoot goes well. It goes a little longer than expected, but it comes in under budget, which is unbelievable to me. But that's true. What happened, it comes in under budget, and then Universal proceeds to put the film together in post-production. And while they're doing that, they come up with the tagline of how they're going to sell it: the strangest passion the world has ever known. Well, clearly with this in mind, they decide to open the film right around Valentine's Day, 1931. Having a little fun with it. The film comes out, does very, very well, breaks some records at a few of the theaters that it's at, and it goes on to be Universal's top film for 1931. So Junior has been vindicated. So what does he decide to do? He decides to double down. Frankenstein. Frankenstein, the novel, had been around for over 100 years. There had been an earlier film version that Edison had made, about a 10-minute little short, that didn't make much of an impression and had been largely forgotten by this time. And Junior decided he was going to go ahead and make it anyway, despite the fact that everybody thought that he was crazy. He had the same reaction when he decided to do it, that his father thought it was a terrible idea. So did the executives at Universal, but his idea, he acquires the rights in March of '39, and as it says here, his idea is that he's hoping it'll be another Dracula. Well, in spite of the reaction of his father, and at Universal, everybody else in Hollywood thought he was out of his mind too. As this article states, the Laemmles to continue with gaudy shockers instead of following the rest of Hollywood for a comedy year. This was the beginning of the Great Depression, and things were not good economically, and the studios felt that people wanted to see escapist comedies, not something as dark as Frankenstein. But Junior was undeterred and proceeded. Robert Flore was a French director who was just breaking in Hollywood, and he was the one who was given the task of pitching to Junior how he would take this book and turn it into a movie. And he would talk years later that it was one of the craziest pitch meetings he ever had, where he went in to see Junior, and Junior was, while Robert Flore was pitching the movie, Junior was getting a haircut, getting his nails done, talking into a dictaphone, putting a bet down with a bookie. But between all that activity, he liked what Robert Flore had to say, and Robert Flore was hired to write and direct the film. Now, I don't want to give you the appearance that Junior wasn't serious about it. Jack Pierce, again, please, round of applause for Jack Pierce. He would say years later that his first involvement in the project was when Junior Laemmle handed him the book. I can tell you from my years in the film business, and anybody else who knows film history, I don't think there's a lot of stories of the head of a studio handing a book directly to the makeup artist. That's how important this project was to him. So Junior then decided to put together the cast. He knew he had a star on the studio named Bela Lugosi, and after Dracula, it seemed perfect, he would put him in Frankenstein. This is the first piece of artwork that was actually created for Frankenstein. It's from the Universal exhibitor book from 1931 that was circulated to theaters to show them what Universal was coming out with. And as you can see, they're proudly announcing Frankenstein starring Bela Lugosi. Well, Junior had another star on the lot, and his name was James Whale. Woo! Yeah! James Whale was an English director who had made his name in the United Kingdom, and when he came to Hollywood, there was a bidding war for his services. Junior won that bidding war and immediately put him on the job of directing a romantic World War I story called Waterloo Bridge. While this film is shooting and the dailies are coming in and the film is being assembled, Junior really liked what he saw. So he said to James Whale, I want to get you onto your next picture right away. You can have any film that we have in development here at Universal. What do you want to do? And what did he pick? He picks Frankenstein. So now, about 2 months before the film is about to begin shooting, Robert Flore is removed from the project. James Whale is assigned to direct it. Garrett Fort is brought in to rewrite Robert Flore's script, but Bela Lugosi is still listed as heading the cast. A week later, that changes. As it says here, Bela Lugosi, who was originally slated for Frankenstein, has been assigned a role in Murders of the Rue Morgue. Now, there's a lot of different stories about what happened. In some versions, Junior Laemmle would say that there was a screen test made by Robert Flore before he left the project with Lugosi, and he didn't like the performance that he gave as the monster. In others, Lugosi would say that he quit the project because he didn't want to be a mute scarecrow, which is what he considered the monster. Whichever story is the truth, the result is the same. He's no longer in Frankenstein. Enter Boris Karloff. Yes. At this moment in time, Boris Karloff is in his early 40s and is basically a starving actor. He's been in Hollywood for over 10 years. He's been in over 80 movies at this point. But these had all been 2 days at this studio, 2 days at that studio, maybe a week if he was lucky. It was a tough sort of hand-to-mouth existence, as it often is for an actor. One day he's sitting in the commissary at Universal, and James Whale walks up to him and says, "Would you like to audition for the part of the monster in Frankenstein?" Well, of course he says yes, and he begins his process of being in Frankenstein, but in the same way that Lugosi would often talk about how he got cast in Dracula, Boris would years later say that while he was thrilled to be offered the job, he was a little annoyed because he was dressed rather nicely that day, and here he was being asked to be a monster. So very much tongue-in-cheek in the way Karloff was. So now Boris is given the role of the monster in Frankenstein, and we're about 2 months from the beginning of shooting. Well, now Junior, figuring he didn't have a star in the film because Lugosi was no longer attached to it, he reaches out to MGM to get the up-and-coming actor Leslie Howard, who years later would become famous from Gone with the Wind. He tries to work out what was called a loan-out deal. It falls through, so Leslie Howard is out, but James Whale says, "No problem, I know the perfect actor. I worked with him back in England named Colin Clive." Junior says, "Great, let's get him." So Colin Clive is given the role of Dr. Frankenstein. And this is where things get really interesting. About 3 weeks before the film starts shooting, Colin Clive is making his way to America. He takes a boat over from the United Kingdom to New York, and then he's going to get on a train and finish the journey out here to Universal. When he lands at the dock in New York, there's a package waiting for him. And in that package is a copy of the script of Frankenstein. But there's also a letter from James Whale. And in this letter from James Whale, it says, Bela Lugosi or Boris Karloff as the monster. So here we are just weeks before the beginning of production, and suddenly Bela Lugosi is back in the mix. Clearly, Junior has gotten cold feet about having no star in his film, and he's considering Lugosi again. Shameless self-promotion, this is what I ultimately decided to write about in my book, It's Alive. This period of time where they're trying to figure out who's going to star in the film, and Junior's trying to figure it out. Well, as all of us know, the role goes to Boris Karloff. Yeah. The film shoots from August 24th until September 3rd. Trying to see it here. These are some pictures from behind the scenes. It goes a little longer than expected and a little bit over budget, but overall is a satisfactory production. Now, in this period of time, films went through post-production a hell of a lot faster than they do today, so a mere 3 or 4 weeks later, it was ready to be shown to the public. The Granada Theater up in Santa Barbara, it's still there, was chosen for the first public presentation of Frankenstein. And on this day, on October 29, 1931, a contingent from Universal heads up there for this screening, including Junior Laemmle and James Whale. Conspicuously not invited is Boris Karloff. He's still a complete unknown at this point. So the film screens that night for the first time for an audience, and when it ends, there's no reaction. The audience just kind of files out without saying anything, and there's a lot of consternation amongst the people at Universal, like, what do we have on our hands? Is this film going to work? Well, there's an incident later that night that gives them a clue of what's to come. At about 3 a.m., the manager of the Granada Theater gets a call from a patron who had been at that screening, and this patron says to the theater manager, "If I can't sleep, then you shouldn't be able to." And he hangs up on him. So clearly the film has worked. A few weeks later, on November 20th, 1931, the film opens, and, bad pun intended, is a monster hit. The film breaks records everywhere that it plays. It's an even bigger hit than Dracula. It turns out to be their biggest film of 1932 for Universal. But unlike the previous hit with Dracula, this time everybody decides to get into the business of these type of films. Welcome to Hollywood. Paramount does Jekyll and Hyde and Island of Lost Souls, White Zombie for United Artists, Dr. X from Warner Brothers, and on and on and on. And then another interesting thing is after Frankenstein, and that it's clear these films are going to be here, a new word comes into the lexicon of cinema, and that is the horror film. Now these are all being called horror films. Previously they've been shockers, mysteries, thrillers, but now it's clear they're here to stay and they're all going to be called horror films.
You gotta unmute yourself, Mr. Jim.
I just said so many wise and deep thoughts.
I really
They're
doubt
not
it.
captured because I was muted. No, it's kind of interesting. It was cool sitting in this presentation and finding out this was the birth of the horror film. They didn't call them horror films before that. Before then, they were thrillers. They were something. They were this. They were that. This was the birth of the horror film. And I would argue the era of the Universal monsters has never been topped. Like, we've had some good horror films. Like, my favorite horror film of all time, of course, is Halloween 1978. Nobody has a question that. I love it. But I'm wearing the Dracula shirt. I love Frankenstein. I dressed up like the Universal Frankenstein as a kid for so many years. But you know, it was cool to see the birth of the horror film in this panel with Julian Laemmle, 23 years old, and it was kind of crazy how he eventually he left, and they left him behind, and he lost his job, and they sold the studio and all this other stuff. This was a great panel. You have a quote you want to share with us as well.
Yeah. So
this is Junior Laemmle. This is for the New York Times, April 3rd, 1932. The cycle that we started with Dracula and Frankenstein can go on indefinitely. And what do you think about that?
yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason why I chose to show that clip. I just really feel like it's such a historical moment as far as what we're doing in horror. And, you know, even I'm wearing the Lost Boys shirt, you know, all of this kind of was rooted in what began there, because it really wasn't seen as this big money making thing, kind of like how the Marvel stuff has been here recently, or the superhero, where it's just like everywhere now, of like, it kind of takes, you know, a few things to kind of like really take it, and then the studios kind of follow on. Not that the, you know, stuff hasn't been going on for a long time with superheroes and all that, but they really did for what horror and monster movies and all that were back then. You know, that's you just basically got a great brief history of it.
Cheeseman, you just like you hit on it. Like, all the studios are struggling these days to create their own shared universe of something. Even Universal tried to create the dark universe. They call it dark universe, which is a new dark universe of the Universal monsters. But back in the 30s, they did this. They did this better than it's ever been done. Marvel's probably the only other studio that's been able to capture the shared universe where all their characters exist in the same universe. And I remember that during the panel, they were saying that they had created it so well that when other studios made versions, or other studios or later versions of Universal, when Laemmle was gone and other people took over, it was so easy to capture the way it looked because they had created such a strong presence of these monsters, these gothic monsters of, you know, Eastern Europe, and it was just.
And they kept reusing the characters in multiple things, you know, kind of like it is in the Marvel stuff where Frankenstein would appear in multiple films, or Dracula. And it's cool that, you know, Bella lost the role, but then they ended up working together, and it ended up actually being better because, you know, he couldn't have played both roles anyways with all these crossovers and the Abbott and Costello kind of movies. So it really kind of worked out in the end that, you know.
Wait, you say Bella lost the role. He lost the role of what?
He lost the role of Frankenstein.
Like
Like
Bela
what they
Lugosi was
said.
originally supposed to play Frankenstein, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about there, but had he played both characters, it would have been a lot harder to do. Like the Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, have both Dracula and Frankenstein. They would have had to have someone else playing the characters. So
I love Frankenstein. I love Dracula. I love the originals. I love the Wolfman. He didn't talk a lot about the Wolfman, but my favorite, of course, is Creature from the Black Lagoon. Me and a lot of people, but it is cool. One of my favorite movies of the era is the Abbott and Costello meet. It was Abbott and Costello meet. Was it the Wolfman or meet Frankenstein? I forgot the name of the movie.
Yeah,
Frankenstein, but it had all the characters in it. It was fantastic, and I watch it every Halloween. That's one of my favorites. Listen, I don't want to chatter away, because what we're going to do is we are going to end the podcast this week with a cool Luke took us on a tour through the floor.
well, kind of both of us did. We both did talk on it and stuff. I was more on camera, but your voice still is on it.
I was loud and obnoxious, as I always am, but
you kept trying to whisper things, and I'm like, I just would just put the microphone right to you so you could just talk over whatever you were saying.
I remember, it's so stupid, because like I'm sitting here with the camera and I'm not realizing everything I'm saying is on camera, and Luke's like, you're being recorded. I'm like, oh, okay. By the way, there is a part. Is this where I thought I identified Tom Savini and it wasn't? It's just some random dude selling a mask, and it was just so stupid. But listen, Luke, why don't you introduce? And this is how we are going. We'll see you guys right at the end of this, but this is a longer clip.
Why don't you introduce me? Because I do introduce myself.
Okay, I'll do that. Let me get this ready. So Luke Cheeseman takes us through Cheeseman on the couch. He is going to take us through and as Monsterpalooza is ending, and as it's wrapping up towards the end of Monsterpalooza, we get a kind of a good picture of what a lot of these vendors thought about the convention. You get to see a little bit of what was going on. This is really cool. So instead of us being these two talking heads sitting here with pretty lights behind us telling you about the convention, why don't we take you a little bit inside the floor and show you exactly what was going on.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Cheeseman here at Monsterpalooza 2023. We are in the hallway as people are packing up. There was a lot of actors out here doing signings and all that, and we're going to check out the place, and we're going to go talk to people. We're going to go on the floor. We're going to experience good things. I got to know who this guy is. Hello, what's your name?
I'm Lumpy the Clown. What's up, buddy?
Did you enjoy Monsterpalooza this year?
I'm fucking tuckered as fuck. Look at me. I'm sleeping on my couch now.
Just relaxing. Were you here all weekend?
Yo.
I'm a little creeped out, I gotta be honest. Yeah, look at the eyes.
Funny clown, I'm sorry. I can only do so much there a little bit.
But he's a good, scary clown. Well, it's nice to meet you. Let's get out of here. I am so afraid right now. So, look at this. We have a hallway of people. Hello, did you enjoy Monsterpalooza?
Yes, absolutely. It was amazing.
See? Short answers, it's great. Look at that. Look at this cosplay right there. Look at that tattoo on his arm. Oh, my goodness. A lot of the art you'll see is even just on people's arms. We're going here into the expo hall right now. Giant floor. Look at these statue things right there. E.T. You got to get me and E.T. together. This is my buddy. It's a glowing heart and a glowing finger of E.T. Look at that. You can touch fingers. It says, please do not touch. I broke the rule. Do not follow my example. All right, we're exploring the floor here, looking around. There's the Godzilla shirt that Jim really liked right there. Look at these figurines. These look like custom Creature of the Black Lagoon. Looks like custom figures.
Trilogy of Terror. The Trilogy of Terror doll. I love that. Did you make these? I love this stuff. Look at they got the ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, what are we filming here?
What is this? That's Hitler. That's Hitler's head.
Does he die? Can we see him die?
Just tell us what it is. It's a robot. That's awesome. Hollywood Master. I love that. I love that.
Lots of horror merchandise here. Here's some tiki art. So, like, I actually have one of these pieces, a canvas, but they're making tiki shirts. They actually have these other canvases. I kind of like the two-piece there, which is pretty cool. This is Sweet Siren art over here. Lots of vendors. We do have that one. Over here, we have some NECA figures and all that. I was talking to them earlier. Yeah. Got some posters. Oh, look at this over here.
Are these your posters, sir? No. Sorry, we're just kind of intruding. We just wanted we're checking out. These are pretty awesome. I like the way they're like very, very classic. It's like a lot of the what I call the cool schlock.
Vintage. Are these original?
Yes, they are. I'm a second-generation poster monger. My father started this back in '69. So we dealt with antique advertising, and then we moved into movie paper. So I grew up in this business. So.
And where can people get these posters?
The posters we have are at atomicartandmusic.com. Now, I ask people to please contact us because some stuff is not on. Because I have about 20,000 original movie posters and about 5,000 concerts. So not everything is there. Just send me a wish list or send me, hey, do you have this? And I'll look it up and see if we actually have it in inventory.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you. Wow, such a big floor here this year. It's bigger than in previous. Oh, gosh, these dolls are so creepy. Oh, sorry about that. Wow, look at these dolls. Hold on. Can you tell me about your shirt? That's an interesting shirt.
This is a Tourist Trap. This is a movie made in, 1978?
Movie made in 1978.
1979. Chuck Connors. One of the very first Empire Pictures, correct?
Wow. That is crazy. Look at all these VHSs. That's amazing. All right, let's make our way over this way. We've got a giant alien head here from movie Aliens, Ridley Scott's. Oh, wow, look at these sculpts. That's amazing. Look at this. Got Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah. This is like that. That's Mandalorian up there. This is one of the. It looks like from Return of the Jedi, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Quantum Creation FX. Would you mind
telling us a little bit about Quantum Creations?
Yeah, so we work on a lot of different things. We mostly work for shows and movies, as well as some things like arena shows, which we worked on Jurassic World Live. And then we worked on a couple of different things, like we're showing off here some stuff from Boba Fett, 65, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and then we got Fifth Brother from Kenobi. So got cool. We got the Rancor over here. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, I couldn't think of the name right there. This is awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Like your shirt, by the way, the Shining. Wow, we are on the last few minutes of. Wasn't he over this direction? I think he was in here, actually. Follow me. So, yep.
Check out all these stinking masks here. Awesome.
Lots of masks we are getting visions of. There's Colton. What's Colton doing over here?
Colton, how's it going?
Yeah. This is our friend Colton. He's cleaning up.
It went great, you guys. I feel like we had a successful Monsterpalooza.
Hey, can you give us a tour real quick of what you were selling?
Yes, it's being put away at the moment, but I'm selling my shadow lanterns, which are hand painted. And yeah, I used to have all the villains, but now they're gone. So they will be on my website soon. Yeah, sold out.
What's your website?
It's transylvinyl.com. Right there.
And what's unique about this? Is this real vinyl?
So what makes this artwork unique is that it's all made from actual shattered vinyl. So I use recycled vinyl to create art. so you can see the dimensions when the light hits it right.
Some of these came from Amoeba originally, and maybe still do.
Well, that's how the collaboration started. Is I made one original Ghostface one, and I brought it home, and one of my friends saw it because I posted a photo, and he's like, "I love this," and he worked for Amoeba, wrote an article, and then all of a sudden, people started to commission it. Oh, yeah.
That's why your friend's new podcast has started up.
Yes. Well, so this right here is, Laura Young. This is her. Yeah. This is her new true crime podcast. It's called Dark Sides, and she just released the website. So this is live, and you can see the teaser on it. And the first episode comes out this month.
Congratulations. That's fantastic. Wait,
Congratulations.
Kyle helping out. Yeah. I have some art in here too. I did like watercolor. Like watercolor art. So this is like the tag, but here's like screen. Yeah, I just kind of like make it with watercolor markers. So yeah, it's been a good time.
That's awesome.
So Colt, we know you're really busy. So this is a really quick. This just is a drive-by interview. Listen, what's the name of what's your movie? You just had a movie that you directed come out.
Yes. It's called Snowfalls. That came out in January, a Lionsgate movie. And I have a new one that the trailer is going to drop this month and comes out in fall called The Bellkeeper.
This is Colton. He's been a friend of the Scare Guy. We're going to have him back on to talk about his movies. All right, Colton, congratulations. Bye.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you guys.
Howdy. Oh my gosh. We have Megan here that we're passing. Look at all these masks. Wow, that's a lot of masks. Yeah, let's take a look.
Is that Savini right there? No, it's not. All right.
Jim thought he saw Tom Savini, but it's somebody that looks like Tom Savini.
I know. No, I just love this mask here. Look at. Check out how demented the clowns are. I came by a little bit earlier.
Because they got their faces almost like slightly sawed.
It's the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Disgusting.
I love them. I love
They're much prettier.
Yeah. See what else we got here.
All right.
Is there any Godzillas? Nice.
Those are Godzilla.
No, those are not. That's
How are those not Godzilla?
Godzilla. It's not Godzilla. Keep going.
Okay, he knows more than I do about these things. Walking around the floor. Here's Megan again. This girl's everywhere. People are looking for last-minute deals. All right. Let's talk to this guy. I like this art. This cool mixed media. Yeah. This is very cool art, sir. Are you the artist? Yeah. Yeah. What's this artist's name, and where do the people find it, and what are you displaying here?
So my name's Todd Roby. Hi, everybody. You can find me at reefcreep.com or look up Reef Creep on Instagram. And this is all brand new paintings. I just finished them about 2 weeks ago. Kind of an idea I had in January and saw it to completion for the show. So a little something different, kind of a different style for me, but just kind of went with some of my childhood favorites. And yeah, I'm really happy with how they came out. So
tell us about these originals. So this is what you'd call mixed media, correct?
Yeah, so start with like a wood panel, paint the background, lots of different paints and water-based, oil-based paints, just a mix of all kinds of stuff. Sprinkle a little bit of glitter into it, a little magic, and then once it's dry, I seal it with resin, like a surfboard. And then I start doing the painting on top of it, doing like, it's not like a silk screen or a stencil, but I hand cut each character out and airbrushed them, and then when that was dry, I came in with some paint pens and lots of different stuff and did all the detail work and design and all that. And when it was all done, then put another coat of resin on it. So they're glossy. There's a little bit of dimension, and they're also like super durable. So
Do you have a favorite?
I think my favorite is Frankenstein. That one came out pretty good. So
Right up there. I love that Darth Vader. I think that looks pretty cool right there, and especially because that it almost fits the theme, like having the blues, the dark, and then the fiery thing, and yeah.
In every painting too, there's a part somewhere that glows in the dark. So if you have like a UV light, it'll really charge it. but it'll charge with normal light, and when you turn the lights out, it'll glow for a little bit.
Now, what's the price range for stuff like this?
So for the originals, the two large ones are $1,500. Boba Fett and Darth Vader are $1,000, and the Xenomorph and Predator are $800.
Awesome.
Prints are $20 each, or the full set for $100, and these oversized prints are $40.
You think you'll ever do the Jaws shark?
Absolutely, definitely, yeah.
I'm asking for a question.
So yes,
very cool.
One last time, real quick. Where can people get your art?
Reefcreep.com, or look up Reef Creep or Todd Roby or Roby Art on Instagram. Instagram's probably the best place. My website's totally outdated. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. All right, so we're looking at more collectibles here, more posters. So much here. The floor is just much bigger than before.
Well, check out, like, over to the right-hand side. Check out all the monsters over there in, what's it called, the Midnight Studios?
Hold a second, we got Ghostface here. Ghostface, hello. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing pretty cool.
Look at those prints. He got a print of himself. Look at that. That's amazing.
What a great deal I got on this. Was $250, guy for $65.
There you go. Never know what you'll get at the end of the day, but amazing. Look, Ghostface and Ghostface. Amazing. Thank you, Ghostface. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get a call from Ghostface. Look at this.
This is called Midnight Studios. Check out the artistry here. This is pretty amazing. Oh my gosh. Look at that.
Keep going till you get terrified because one moves.
What? No, they don't. Oh, check this out. Oh my gosh, that guy's moving.
Yeah, that's what I told you. He's moving. Monster. Look at this Mr. Monster right here. Oh my gosh. He's probably not going to talk, but this is terrifying. Moving. Oh my gosh. And then it moves at the end. Okay. I'm going to die. No, I think he's wanting me to be his next victim. No. Oh gosh. No.
Thank you.
All right. See you, Ghostface. Yeah. Oh my gosh, makeup chair. Yeah. Woo.
I'll see you in the makeup chair right here.
Oh my gosh. So they're still doing well. Actually, they're removing the makeup right now, but they had most of it. Yeah.
I don't think this is. We saw a lot of makeup today, but this is like the Premier Products Incorporated, one of the main sponsors.
Jim's just trying to get a date right now.
One of the main sponsors here of Monsterpalooza. And these guys are artists. Let me see.
Wow, that was probably a long time in the chair. How long did it take to do this makeup today? 3 hours. This is 3 hours of makeup that we just saw. Hello. Where are you right now?
I'm at Monsterpalooza.
Can I ask you a question? Are you from Clash of the Titans?
No. I am Fawzif, the fallen angel.
He's a fallen angel. He was once beautiful, but now he's...
I was one of the many that was cast out of heaven.
This is pretty amazing, though. This is great.
Look at this costume. He's evil Mr. Tomness.
You've got a cousin who was in Clash of the Titans, 1981. He got his hand cut off. All right.
Yeah, looks amazing. You too. Yep, here we go.
Let me see and check that out. Art. Check out. This is cool.
That's a great Beetlejuice. That's a great...
Really good Beetlejuice right there. Look at... Oh, he's got some great artwork over here. He's packing up right now. I don't think he's going to have... You want to walk
This
over
art,
there?
it's the art of Scott Spillman.
Scott Spillman here? Mr. Spillman. Hey, I'm going to ask... Would you mind if we ask you 30 seconds worth of questions?
A whole 30 seconds. Ghostface, okay.
Your artwork just caught our eye. This is for the scareguy.com. We're just kind of doing a wrap-up of Monsterpalooza. Can you tell us about your artwork real quick?
Yeah, first of all, this is not what my booth normally looks like. This is in the middle of tearing down my booth.
Yeah,
Sold out.
I did sell out a lot of stuff. You're right. So what was the question about Monsterpalooza?
Tell us a little bit about your artwork.
Well, you too, man. Thank you.
I would say it has a great like high contrast like look to it. Like the use of the whites, the darks, and the colors is unique and really makes it unique.
Right. So that's my style, is all the colors, but also I try to do some photorealism at the same time and mix it up.
So is this what kind of medium do you use to make the original pieces?
Acrylic on canvas, and most of these are all 18 by 24.
So like how big are the originals? 18 by 24. Okay, and then these are the reprints. It looks amazing. Wow.
Breaking down, where can people get this artwork?
From scottspillman.com.
Yeah, what I love about it too, like I'm a big Drew Struzan fan, and like he'll take kind of like the look of a face, and then he'll like amplify the look where they look even more iconic than the original picture or the thing, and I feel like you capture a little bit of that.
It's almost kind of like a hyper-realism with it. Yeah. I love him too. He's a great artist. There was actually a lot of great artists at this show this time.
This show was packed. It was
Yeah.
a crowded show this time.
Right. I was very, very happy with it. And yeah, we sold out of almost everything. That's why I had there was like 3 cases of coasters just here. So this is a
What was the best seller?
Well, I mean, as far as characters,
Was there the characters? Yeah.
that was a mix, man. Because I mean, I had so many here, and they all blew out.
Captain Spaulding and Ghostface, he said. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a fantastic show. I love it. This is my second time here.
Awesome. Well, it's great to meet you.
Let's be the first to wish you happy Halloween. The Halloween season is started, my friend. All right.
Happy Halloween. Yeah. So a lot of the places are starting to wrap up, but
Not complete. Let's see if we can find someone who's not completely scrambling to pack up right now, which is going to be hard to do. Oh wait, I just got to get. I just love the pumpkins. We got. Sorry. Whenever I see pumpkins, I'm drawn to pumpkins.
Jimmy, you should put on the pumpkin dress.
Oh, this is pretty awesome right here. So they're packing up right now. Let's look around. Hey, let's look around. Go to the wall. Sorry. It's a little bit of a rough transition there. So we're just kind of walking through right now. We are at the end of Monsterpalooza 2023 here at the Pasadena Convention Center, and it looks like we are all wrapped up. We're going to walk outside in just a second, but we just got a couple more things. I want to see the dinosaur over here. Just go straight. Keep going straight.
Are you guys excited about the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park?
Definitely. Very excited.
How did the Jurassic Park stuff go here for you this weekend? As you can tell, I'm a fan. I'm wearing a Jurassic Park shirt right now.
It's awesome. It went very well. The fans were always great, so.
And we've seen you guys at multiple conventions and stuff. Will you be at Comic-Con this year?
Definitely.
All right.
We know you guys are busy. We just wanted to come over. I saw the dinosaur. I said, this is Jurassic Park 30th anniversary week. So I knew that you guys would be excited about that as well. We love your shirts. Could not wash his hands, so he went extinct. So now real quick, Dino Art Prints, is that how folks find your stuff? All right. Thank you, my friend.
All right. Wow, look at this stuff. Is this your art?
This is all my art, yeah.
What's your name and how do people find it?
My name is Toivo, and it's called Toivo's Good Wood.
So
Pun intended.
What was the sign you've had up most of the weekend?
Want me to get it?
Yes. Let me see. Okay, this guy's not only got scary art, but he's funny. Look at this.
I have wood.
That's awesome. All right. Oh, help me.
I love how you are.
Yes. Oh, thank you, all of us.
I have wood, and then you have a Pee Wee Herman on your shirt as you say that.
We know that you're packing up and heading out, but just real quick, tell us about your artwork and how people can find it.
It's all hand-cut wood art. You can find it on Instagram, TikTok, just Toivo's Good Wood. I have to be the only Toivo you can find on the internet, right?
What kind of wood is it, and what kind of paint do you use?
It's all birch plywood and the cheapest wood paint I can find, acrylic paint. But it's all 3D. They're all carved in there by hand.
What? You carve by hand? Wow, everything is carved by hand.
The table and the displays are all made by me as well.
Look at that. It's a full he's got wood everywhere.
You're all wooded up. All right, what's your name, my friend?
Business card right there.
Oh wait, here we go.
With my face on it.
Toivo's Good Wood. Grab that. We're taking it with us.
All right, cool.
Oh, there's another one.
And yours as well. Thank you. All righty.
Monsterpalooza, folks. Okay, we are definitely running out of. Look at this. Look at this. Everybody's packing up. It's the crazy time. I love this. Let's see if we can find one more person. They're all packed up over there. Let's go over here. We may have come to the end of Monsterpalooza, but hey, let's go over here for a second.
Okay, this looks like someone we should talk to. Hi there. What's your name?
My name is Stinkles. Stinkles the clown.
Can you tell us about your art here?
What's that?
Can you tell us about your art here?
Oh, well, this is a micro marauding monster museum. That's what it is, sure. And this is all the crazy creatures that I made out of all sorts of different ingredients. This is like real raccoon jaw over here, real bones over there. And just these crazy critters. I just like to make them because it's fun.
All righty. Well, awesome. Oh, am I dropping thing? What? I'm not gonna. So is this? Are these your cards here?
Oh, this is my art cards. Check it
Okay.
out.
Cool.
Of the shadowpuffs.com. Shadowpuffs.com. Nice.
All righty. Well, nice to meet you. Happy Halloween. Look, are these real animals? Those are real dead. Oh my gosh. Lizards, snakes. Nice to meet you.
We're gonna walk real fast towards the other side of the hall. What is that? What is this? This is.
And look at you muted again. Haven't learned your lesson, have you?
Gosh, you think I would know how to do this these days? Listen, so right there, that was a pretty cool, like a tour through the vendor hall, all the vendors as they were packing up. It was right towards the end of Monsterpalooza 2023, and our battery on our battery on the camera died right at that point. You saw how we like, hey, what is this? And then
Or it filled up.
cut to
happened?
cut to black. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us this week on our brand new season for Monsterpalooza. My name is Jim Fry. You can find me at James D Fry on Instagram, and just pay attention. I hate to say pay attention. I sound like a teacher. You can check us out on theconguy.com, which is our other site, but thescareguy.com. Check us out on all social media, thescareguy.com, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitter. Cheeseman, take us out, my friend.
Yeah, and also find us on that hashtag show as well. Cheeseman again. You can find me on social media on Instagram and Twitter at Cheese on Couch, and also thescareguy.com.
That's
Check
right.
us out.
We're gonna have a scary season. We are so excited to be back. I hope I'm not yelling into this microphone too much. We're so excited to be back. We're so excited to start the scary season. So let us be the first to wish you a happy Halloween here in June. We just got a few months left until Halloween shows up, but even then, we're gonna be bringing you all the stuff from thescareguy.com. Anyways, guys, this has been fun. Thank you for joining us at Monsterpalooza, the perfect way to kick off the Halloween season, to kick off the scary season. We'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.